the toughest fight that I had to fight was when I fought. Was the fight I lost actually because I gassed myself out in that fight. Was when I fought MMA, when I fought Tim Kennedy in the UFC, and I was fighting a way below my normal weight. I fought under 84 kilos, and I'm usually like 98 kilos. So
That's
I
a big
lost.
drop.
It's a big drop. I probably had to train I should have trained more to compensate the weight loss. And my conditioning didn't, and I couldn't recover much. And I started that fight way more aggressive than I usually do. And the first round was like very active, and I remember very tired on the first round, and I still had 2 more rounds to go. That was the toughest thing I've ever done in my life. The toughest fight I had to go because I had nothing more. I remember I was fatigued on the first round. That by the end of the first round, I had to time out, sit down for a minute, get up, and carry on. I did it 1 more round, and then I was truly tired. I was truly tired. I don't ever remember being that tired in a fight. But it was one of the fights that I was proudest the most of myself because I never gave up, and I was exhausted. Fatigue make cowards of us all. And I have to say, I've been there, and I did not give up. We are measure when in hard times, not when times are good. We truly show ourselves when the times are hard, and I was very proud that that's what I showed about me on that at that specific time. So that was probably the hardest fight I've ever had because I was so fatigued. And MMA is very tiring. It's not like jujitsu. Jujitsu can stall a little bit. You don't have to worry about punches.
You
MMA
can conserve energy.
Yes. MMA is very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. Anyway, so that was probably my physically, the fight that I was most proud. But because I guess, I had like tough fights because just my opponent was tough, in terms of difficult fight. When I fought Damian Maia, Damian Maia is the very high level jiu-jitsu guy who went to fight MMA. He has the most fights in the UFC, maybe almost the most wins, I think. I fought him when I was a brown belt and he was a black belt. We had a very, very difficult fight. Very, very difficult. I managed to win in the end. I mean, again, think that fight, almost like I felt I had something to prove. And I'm a brown belt. I'm not even a black belt yet. I'm fighting against a black belt. I'm like,
Right.
Yeah, I'm like, I need to prove myself that I'm that I'm good. And then I just started again, aggressive. It was almost, once I watched the documentary about Usain Bolt. He's saying that he fought a world juvenile, I think. And I think it was the first big competition he did. He was in the final, and I remember him saying there was no technique. I just ran for my life. I lift my head up, everything wrong. He was like, I was just running for my life, no technique. I was just giving everything I can. I think it was very similar. I was like doing things wrong technically. I was like just forward, forward, forward. I need to win.
Which I'm guessing sometimes if you're young and strong, you can get away with. But the older you get, you can't do that.
You can't do that. You can't do that. I think that exactly. You have the youth that you recover. Like you can push yourself a lot more than than when you're older. I think I was 20 at that time, so we can compensate our maturity.
So it's interesting though. Both these times you feel your toughest matches are both the times that you haven't followed your own philosophy of conserving energy.
Yeah, because those are the most memorable fight. The ones that everything goes perfectly fine. You dominate your opponent. You submit them straight away. I mean, they're the best matches, but they're not the most challenging ones. They're the one that like everything went perfect. You were like superior. You were able to show superiority over your opponent. You dominate them. There was no major challenge. apart from the fight itself is a challenge, but the fight did not bring like a massive challenge.
So I guess what you're saying is that through a bigger challenge or even loss, you actually learn more.
Oh yeah, I mean we learn anyway, but the ones we lost is the one that shows our mistake right in our face. When we win, mentally it's like, what do I have to improve? I won. Like, I'm good enough to win. I don't have to change anything. I can already win. Lost is the opposite. Like it's either you change or you stay a loser almost, So like you have to change.
Let me ask you something. What I don't know whether to make this a generic question for humans or for you, but what do you think is more difficult? To reach the top or to stay at the top?
I think both are very challenging. I mean, reaching the top is very hard. Staying at the top is, I mean, it's difficult. People say, "Oh, it's harder to stay at the top." It's because it depends what motivate you to be there. Like what motivates you to be what you are, what you motivate for. Like it's for you to be world champion once. You got it. Like my goal is to reach the top, to be that world champion. Then when you make it, what's your next goal? So that's we have to be driven for something. If we need that drive to take us somewhere. So people when they win something big, let's say the world championship, what's their drive? They made it. So it's if your drive was to be a world champion, then you will not have that drive to stay the world champion. That's the thing.
Is there a danger? Is there almost a danger of collapse afterwards? Because I don't know the jiu-jitsu world so much, but in boxing there are loads of examples of people who make it to the top, become world champions, and then make a mess of their lives.
They make
It's quite common.
It's very, very common because before you make it, you're nobody, and then when you win the world championship, when you make it, now you're famous. Temptation. Now you have the fame. If you have the women, you have the party, you have the money. Like you have a big house, you have a big car. Like what else do you need? What else do you want? Before you had nothing. You had to walk to the gym. You had to live in a small house. You had, no woman were looking at you because you have nothing in life. What can you offer them? So now when you make millions, everybody wants you. Like, what's your motivation? Like, it's usually people who are like very humble background, and then suddenly they make a lot of money. Like they made it. Like, what else motivates you? You reach. You have a big house, have a big car. You get in anywhere. Everybody opens the doors. Everyone looking at you. There's people trying to sleep with you all the time. Like, what's your motivation now? You made it. What else do you need? Like, what motivates you to carry on? That's it's dangerous.
It sounds dangerous because it sounds like you're saying that the more success you have, the harder it is to hold on to core values.
Yeah. So that's the hardest part, to stay on top. It's like, now what gonna make you wake up 5 a.m. to go train? What? Before you had nothing. So you will wake up at 4 if you had to. Now you have a mansion, a big house, a Ferrari outside. You have inviting you to go to trips, to parties, to this and that. Like, so you're gonna have to leave all that on the side and go back to waking up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m.
But this again is something that strikes me, how you are very different to other champions. Because you are. I'm not saying this just for your ego purposes. You are. The way you come across, the way you carry yourself, is very humble in comparison to other world champions. And I think what you're saying is that you've managed to keep hold of your core values despite success.
Yes. And I had a bigger goal than most. That's why, I think.
And what was that?
To be the best in the world. But winning is not enough.
So what does the best mean to you then?
I had to submit them all. If I don't submit them, I'm not good enough.
And am I right? Correct me if I'm wrong with this record, but you have never been submitted in competition, right?
Juvenile, when I was right at the beginning. So I was 16 or 17.
That's a hell of a statistic.
Yeah. I mean, I had a pretty good career. I think on the black belt, I lost 7 times. 4 times was very controversial.
Controversial how? Tell us more.
It's referee decision.
Oh, like, okay, controversial decision, you mean?
Decision,
okay, yeah.
So I could have won those fights.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is. I think in one way, maybe not all, but I think quite a few of them, it was good for me because it made me angry and motivate me to train more and be better. So I could never leave in the referee's hands, none of my fights. I'm like, I have to finish the fights before. So that increased my will to be better, to get better, train more. So if whichever way, you work on the positive side.
Hello everyone, it's Roger Gracie, and today you'll see a series of videos I did on guard passing. So I did a lot of different scenarios of different ways to open people's close guard. I showed one of my favorites, a few others that I've been working on, and a few others that, regardless of size, anyone can use. And I did try to focus on my pressure pass. There's some other variations of guard pass, but I try to focus on pressure pass, which I think is extremely important